Hello and welcome to another edition of Paydirt TV. I'm Dominic Piper. Today I'm joined by Poseidon Nickel Chief Executive, Peter Harrell. Peter, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dominic.
Peter, you've had a real string of success at your new discovery at Black Swan, the Golden Swan prospect. Have you been happy with the results so far?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I joined the company in March and didn't even know about this target. And we've had two fantastic intersections of it, fantastic grade, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
What's the plan with the drilling strategy around Golden Swan? I mean, these are always difficult targets to drill. Where do you go from here? Do you chase it down plunge, or is it open in other directions as well?
Yeah, well, as we said in the last announcement, there's this whole thing called the Southern Terrace, which is opening up, and our new NED, Pete Michelli's really excited about it. He calls it the Peppermint Grove Address, which we like that. So yeah, look, I think we've got a real opportunity here, and we need to really understand the geology better. And obviously EM is going to help us a lot, but we'd like to obviously see how big Golden Swan is. But is there a lot more nickel in that system, in that Southern Terrace? Yeah.
It's a very tricky business drilling for nickel sulfide deposits. How quickly do you think you can define an ore body or resource around Golden Swan?
Yeah, look, that is a good question. That's something that we're discussing at the moment. What's the strategy? I mean, one option is to put a drive in, and then we could get pretty close to Golden Swan, and then maybe put one or even two rigs in. Sort of running them 24 hours. Double shifting them. We could drill a resource out very quickly, or we could drill from surface and doing parent holes with daughters off those. Take a bit longer, or we could drill from another position underground. So that's something we're currently just reviewing at the moment, working out all the different options, and hopefully in the not too distant future we can advise the market what the plan is.
Looking at the long section on the release, it's very close to the Silver Swan decline and the development down there. Does that suggest then once you get a resource you might be able to develop it very quickly?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're only 300 metres away from the decline, and so you could have a takeoff point straight across, and it's only a 300 metre drive. So if you put a contractor in there tomorrow, it'd probably take 2 to 3 months, and you'd actually be sitting at next to the ore body. So yeah, that's all fully developed.
The company's always sort of looked, ever since it bought the Black Swan project, been looking for a catalyst for restart. Could Golden Swan be that catalyst?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, I worked on this project 25 years ago when I was at MPI, when I was a much younger bloke. That discovery, Silver Swan, was an incredible discovery. 200 metres below surface down to 500 metres, 440,000 tonnes at 14% nickel, 60,000 tonnes of nickel. I mean, I'd hate to think what that's worth today. So, this could be, something, similar, we hope. Very, very exciting. And it's just a completely new area. It's hardly been drilled. And in fact, I don't think it's been drilled at all. So, we're in a really interesting area here, and it's so exciting. It's a very, very rich system. And we might be involved, we could be onto the verge of another one of these, 300 metres away. I mean, how exciting is that? Very early days yet, but that's kind of what we're sort of, we've got our fingers crossed.
Yeah, it is, and like you said, early days for your exploration on the entire land package.
Yes.
Could Golden Swan be the first step in a new generation of exploration discovery in the wider project?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the interesting thing, isn't it? You sort of, I mean, my experience with all the projects I've been involved in, Silver Swan, this is the second time I've been there now. I mean, Savannah, we discovered Savannah North, which was only 700 metres away, and we'd been working there for 12 years, didn't know it existed. We bought Lanfranchi, and 2 years after we bought that, we discovered Deakin, 65,000 tonnes of nickel, 300 metres away from where Western Mining had operated for 20 years. But they're not easy to find, and the technologies are getting better and better. Downhole EM is still the best way to do it. And but you've got to have holes, and you've got to be able to sort of see, and you've got to have the right rocks, and there's a lot of things that have to go right for you. But yeah, we could well be on to another system. You've
had a good run on the market of late in the last couple of rounds of results that you've announced, and often in that regard, there's been a couple of nickel juniors enjoying a little bit of a run of late. Must be a nice change, is it, to have a fair bit of support in the marketplace?
Yeah, look, I mean, interestingly, it has been. I mean, the shares have gone from 3 cents to 5, but that still only values us at like $130 million. And I look at some of our other compatriots who have got, haven't even got resources and no mills or anything, have got market caps, $400 or $500 million. So there's an awful lot of headroom yet that we've got to catch up. We're very much unloved. I think people have almost forgotten about Poseidon.
Away from Black Swan, you've got you're developing a gold strategy at the Windara project. You're looking at retreatment of tailings there. Can you just tell us a little bit about the rationale behind that project?
Yeah, well, look, it's one of those ones that we consider that to be a free kick. I mean, I think every investor in Poseidon has bought their shares for exposure to nickel. There's a lot of material. There's in total, if you look at the north, central and the south dump, there's about nearly 200,000 ounces of gold. With spot gold at 2,800, this project makes a lot of money. So we've put out a pre-feas, which was a couple of months ago. We went straight into a full feas. That'll be finished, late September, early October. Not expensive mining, cheap mining. The plant will be built right next to the processing plant that we could build, and then you're sort of producing over the life of the project, which is 3 years, about somewhere between 40 and 45,000 ounces of gold, but at a relatively low all-in cost. And then we've got the option over the Lancefield tailings, which is another good opportunity. Only 17 kilometres away. It would clean up an environmental liability there for the state, which is great.
It's a lovely position to be in, to have a gold kicker when you're trying to fund a nickel project as well. Peter, thanks for joining us today. Good luck with the drilling at Golden Swan and also the tailings project at Windara. And hopefully we'll talk again soon and hear about a full feasibility study at Windara and even greater hits at Golden Swan. Thank you.
I hope so. Thanks very much, Dominic. Cheers.